There are moments when politics don't feel like politics anymore. It feels personal. It feels like your history, your family, your children, your rights, and your future are all sitting on the table. While people debate whether your concerns are even real. And as Black men, fathers, husbands, and veterans, we can't ignore what this moment feels like. 4 titles, 1 truth. I'm Tommie.
And I'm Lance. Today's conversation, politics feel different when you're Black. Let's get into it. When does politics stop being just politics and start feeling personal to you as a Black man?
When you when you see that it's more than one little thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so before this administration was elected in, you heard a whole bunch of rumors.
Right.
And you were like, nah, that can't be. And you hear about Project 2025, and then you say, well, I don't want this to happen, and then you go vote, right?
Right.
And then this administration wins, which is not what you voted for.
No, not at all.
But all of the rumors that you heard before the election, now they're slowly starting to come around.
I know,
but people aren't paying attention. So that's when I start to feel, because the DEI thing, if that's what you want to do, stop DEI, that's at least something I can wrap my head around, right? I can wrap my head around it because the goal is to figure out how we can make sure it's a level playing field, okay?
Right. Yeah, I mean, but that's what you want it to be anyway.
That's my point.
Yeah.
And so if DEI is a problem, then my expectation is, but my expectation is, then if you consider DEI a problem, then let's figure out a better way. You don't cancel something before you have a plan to fix it. Absolutely.
You shouldn't, but you also shouldn't cancel things that are working, that are in place to give folks the opportunity to be there.
And then you jump on DEI, you convince evidently a majority of the country that DEI is bad, but then you hire people that aren't qualified.
And that's what I'm getting to, is that the DEI was allowing people who were qualified, sometimes overqualified, to take jobs so that they could try to, so that they could display and put on display what they know, how they could do, so that they could try to get some of these other jobs that they traditionally would never have been considered for.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That's the big thing I feel with DEI, is like it let folks who you normally wouldn't see in some of those positions
get a chance
to show
that
off their merit,
competent and capable, and have the qualifications.
Yes, exactly.
And so when you come at me in the world and say DEI is a problem, and then you hire people that aren't qualified, not even on paper, right? Then it's a slap in the face, and that's when it starts to seem like,
it's personal.
Is there something against Black people?
Yeah, I tell you, for me, it seems personal, like it's a personal
attack. Absolutely.
Of trying to take away. I guess the big thing is it's things that were put in place decades ago. I'm not even gonna say years ago, decades ago,
to fix a wrong.
A wrong that has been in our country since its
centuries.
Since its inception. So why would you take that away if it's not given an extra advantage to anyone? All it's doing
But
is...
that's the counter. And that's my thing, right? It's because a lot of white men have complained, and then you start to see more white women, which is weird to me. Because women Black people, any race that's not white is a minority.
White men, it's not white men. White women benefit more off of the DEI stuff.
And so do other minorities.
Yes.
I know.
So it's not just something that came up just for black people.
Right.
This was for
it's turned out for everybody. Right.
Everyone has benefited from
You know
that.
why?
So,
because America is supposed to evolve.
Yep.
And it's supposed to get better.
Yep.
So to me, it seems personal when you can't. It seems personal when it seems like they are targeting your race.
Right.
And then you have a wife, you have a daughter, and you have a son. And so it starts to feel like you're targeting my family.
Right.
And the saddest part about it is the people who so-called support this administration, they completely overlook the part that it's targeted because they want to be so anti-Democrat or they want to be so pro-Republican that they can't even, or they won't even allow themselves to see the injustice in this.
Nah, I mean it's not I tell you, I mean it just seems like it is a we got to build up this one group of folks, and since we can't deport or send this this other group over to some other country to say that they're
they've been here too long to get them out of here. So let's come up with this.
So let's come up with things to try to gain control of them, try to get control of them again, so that they can't raise up and we can keep them at a level, which is like we're not going back. We are not going back there.
But that's the thing, though. The problem with politics is because they're elected for a time period. And
some are.
But true.
Yeah.
But you can't get them jokers out when they have the majority because people are so stuck on their being a Democrat or a Republican that they can't see what's really going on, or they won't allow themselves to see what's going on.
It's crazy because it's like it's such a small percentage of people who actually have the money and the power.
Absolutely.
Yeah, where
we're talking single digits.
Yeah, I mean where some of these policies and things, it only benefits them. It doesn't benefit the masses, and that's where.
And then they give crumbs.
Yeah,
to the other.
You get that. I mean, they offer it's crazy when they offer that little $600 check or $1,800 check.
People jumped up and was applauding.
Oh my God, what is that going to pay for? What is that going to get you? You know, it's like that's nothing.
And then some people didn't get it.
Trillions and billions of dollars that.
And to hear this administration stand up when the world changes and not the way they want it to change. The excuses they make and the hard, no emotion excuses they give to messing with people's lives and finances is just disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's a whole lot of folks that just don't make money like that where.
To be in the group that's getting.
To think that you are included in that.
Right. That small
that smart policy or whatever it is.
And that's just the DEI part.
Yeah.
You know, we got the ruling where think about this. They have the House, the Senate, the presidency, and the courts. Mm-hmm. And people aren't paying enough attention to realize what's happening.
And that's the other thing too, Tommy. You think that you vote for a politician or whatever to represent you.
Right.
So you start doing all of these the gerrymandering of the voting districts and doing all of that stuff, and you don't get the opportunity to vote for, have somebody that represents your interests. Because that's what I thought that that's what I've always thought that the politicians were supposed to do, was represent
They're supposed
your
to
interest,
represent
your best interest
and reflect.
your
where they're
community.
from. Absolutely.
Yeah, for your
Absolutely.
community to fight for the things that your community needs and believe. The people that live there believe in.
And that's the
That's not. I
thing.
mean,
And that
that's
once
not
again,
happening.
the smaller percentage are the ones that are getting the representation instead of the masses.
What the ones that can pay
Absolutely.
that
Absolutely.
I mean, because it's a to me it's a business and a business.
Absolutely.
The politician
Absolutely.
stuff. I mean, because they're getting paid not just from the government.
Their monthly salary.
Yeah,
But
they're also getting
yeah.
paid from lobbyists
It
and
seems
all
like
these
they're
other
getting
folks.
paid from stock insider
Yeah,
trading.
insider
Because
trade.
how
Yeah,
are
all of
all
that
of them
stuff.
millionaires now?
Exactly. I mean,
So,
and how, yeah, how?
yeah.
How did they? I mean, because everybody, all of them they're not making that much money on
No.
book deals and speaking
No.
engagement, and they should. I mean, and if they are, it's like they're not doing the job that
Yeah.
they're supposed to be doing in representing you.
Absolutely.
So
They're hustling is what they're doing. And like I said, it ain't just the DEI and it ain't just the court ruling that is starting to it's just destroying what the ground that we've established and started to repair just in the
well,
60s,
it's
man.
the rights, man. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the rights that are
Yeah.
that are starting to be messed with now.
Yeah.
That are just the things that
And I don't think enough people understand the cost of what is happening now. And they won't understand that cost because people just refuse to open their eyes, man. And it's just amazing. And then right now, it's 7.1% unemployment rate for Black Americans. Guess what the national average is?
what's the national average?
It's 4.3. So that's just three areas to where the most affected by these three things. We're talking about DEI, we're talking about the, the Supreme Court ruling on the Voting Act and on the jobless rate and this is 2026, right? And so those three things target Black people. It affects Black people the most. This is my simple understanding and my simple research, and this is what this is
That's the way
telling me.
it comes across. I mean,
Absolutely,
I don't know however they try to explain it, but this is how
it's absolutely,
how how we're seeing it.
absolutely
And and I know that we can't be the only ones that
right. Because we're
see
not the
that.
only ones
No, I mean
that
the
are.
masses. I
Yeah,
mean
but we're not the only ones that are not getting jobs because now good old boy system's up. We're not the only ones. It's not just Black people that aren't getting these jobs no more. Now it's anybody that has a temp that's not in the crew. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not in the crew and you don't get a job, that's the whole point that DEI came up. That's the whole reason behind it. So I don't get it. Yeah, but all right. As Black men who've served this country for over almost 60 years combined, how do you process loving America while also feeling like America still questions your value in it?
see when you say America, I that's everybody. That's just not. I mean, I can't say that America is just the politicians
Right.
that represent us. So I mean, I have no hate for America because America is my country.
It's where you
This
were
is where I'm
born.
from. Yeah,
Yeah.
this
It's
is
where your
my
parents were
yeah.
born.
This is my
It's where
this
your
is
grandparents were born.
yeah, this is my country. So
Right.
I absolutely don't hate America.
Right.
I have feelings about the politicians and the people who are supposed to be running the country and
Yeah.
representing us.
Yeah.
That I feel like it's not a people aren't being truthful
Yeah.
and fair and and representing the qualities and
The
the
values.
ethos and the values
Yeah.
that we that our country was built on,
Absolutely.
that
And we
we
live
signed
by.
up and
Yeah.
served
That our
on
so-called
and led on.
society.
Yeah, I mean, so
Yeah.
yeah, I never hate America. Don't hate
Yeah.
America because America is all that's the white, black, brown, yellow. I mean, everybody that's here. And that's what makes our country so unique.
Right.
You know, and that's the thing. I think some people don't get to travel and actually get to see what other countries. I mean,
how good you have it.
Oh my God, man. Yeah. I mean, this is just I mean, even some of our worst, you go to other countries and it's nowhere near what some of these other countries and people are living conditions and just the
some people only
all
have
the infrastructure that we have. Even with our infrastructure being old and needing repair, needing renovations and things like that is nothing like some of what you see some of these people living in.
Absolutely.
I mean,
in these other countries, when you go to these other countries and you see their poor neighborhoods, some of them don't. They share a metal wall. You know what I'm saying? Some people had to move and live up a hill. You know, it's crazy. But you said what I was going to say about America. You know, it's not. America is the people, and the people are the ones that we associate with every day. The ones you run into. I was just talking to somebody the other day, and I was like, it is crazy how I could sit down anywhere in the United States and start having a conversation with somebody, and we could end up becoming friendly, right? And I have no idea what type of politics this person is. I have no idea what type of religion this person is, but we can have a good freaking 15, 20-minute conversation and leave laughing and remembering each other, maybe exchanging cards, phone up, whatever. And it's amazing that could happen. But then you come back and you sit in front of the TV and you see they're firing black generals. It seems like they're firing women leadership in the military. It seems like the black supporters for this administration that was so valiant in trying to get this guy elected, and they ain't got no job,
no leadership jobs.
No, they're still fighting for their political careers. But they gave every ounce that they had to this administration, and they're still sitting in the same seat where they are.
See, and that's, I guess that's what's disappointing about, you would say, America, is you have folks that are preach, you know, we want people that are fair, people that are
they say
are
that
Christian, you know, all of these they list off all of these values.
Don't you dare bring up Christianity in this one.
But then you vote for folks that have blatantly shown
that they have no
that
love
they
for
have
you
no
and your race,
none of those values, or don't care, and it's confusing. I tell you that's what it's always that's confusing to me. Where it's like, what is going on? How can you say that and then look at me and and say another thing?
Call me brother, or look at me and say we. I don't know, but I will say this: that one thing I don't understand is how I don't believe that black people should all be in the same, should be the same, because people are different, right?
Yeah.
But what throws me off is how I can research something and not go off of my emotion, but research something and find stuff like Project 2025. How can you possibly be someone of color or a woman and feel like Project 2025 is something that this is
beneficial for you,
that America should adopt?
That's beneficial for in the direction
I don't understand that.
We're trying to the direction that we're trying to go, the direction that we're trying to put out throughout the world for folks to follow. The example that we want folks to follow in the world.
And we're the leaders, supposedly the leaders. So I'll just leave this question with this. I've fought for this country. I've shed tears for this country and blood. I've exhausted myself for this country by serving 30 years in the United States Army.
Yep.
And even during my time, the politicians were not always the way that I voted. But one thing I can tell you, and I'm talking Carter, I'm talking
Reagan,
Reagan, I'm talking
Bush,
Clinton, Bush, Clinton, Bush, Obama, and Biden, right? Out of all the presidents I've lived under, the one thing I could really genuinely understand is they had pride and love for the country.
Mm-hmm.
This administration, I cannot
Well,
see their pride and love. I just see
for
their
every, I
hate
mean, that's the
and
thing
anger.
for everyone.
Well, I won't even say that, but you could at least say that they were trying to do the best for the country.
Right.
Because I don't believe Reagan was a lover of black people. I don't know that, right?
Right.
I don't know how much any of those presidents had really a love for black people, but I could at least see and understand their love for the country and their desire to want the country to be the leader of the world, the desire to help try to shape the world. Now, I'm not saying that any president didn't do some shady type stuff we're talking regime change and we're talking CIA, that type of stuff. I don't know what's happened because no matter what I did, my top secret level was never going to be that high, right? But what I do know is even if they were faking it, it seemed like they had genuine care for the country.
Well, the policies weren't trying to tear down
Well, they were.
not
They
trying to tear
were.
down some of the things that
Well,
we
you
had
got to remember
already.
what Reagan was doing, and so.
He was trying to, he was coming up with things that were targeting
Yeah,
more so
100%.
than what's being targeted now as far as taking actual rights away and trying to rewrite.
Yeah, and I'm not bashing Reagan, but the reality of Reagan is it's obvious. It's obvious that he saw that the majority of the problem in this country was related to drugs, and that was related to, it seemed like, black people, right? So I've researched Reagan and I understand, but he was also, he represented style. He was classy, and there was respect around the world because of the way he presented and carried himself. That's what I'm talking about from all the other presidents.
Okay.
This guy is talking about destroying a whole nation. This Joker he's talking about he's happy that people have died, but then you flip it and somebody dies on their side, and the moment people critique them, now all of a sudden they want them arrested or they want them charged with something or they want them.
You know what that sounds like? It sounds like
Yeah,
some
absolutely.
communism
That's
stuff,
exactly
type
what it
of
sounds like.
dictatorship type of
Shaping the rules so that you can do what you want, but everybody else has problems.
do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, so. But I love America. I've fought for America. I volunteered to fight for America. I was born here. I raised a family here. My ancestors came here. So this is my country too,
Yeah, it's this is our country.
But this right now, this administration there's nothing that makes me believe that they're for me, my family, or my race.
I don't feel like they have the best
No,
interests,
no,
our
in
best
us.
interests at
agree.
heart. So, why do you think some people believe there is no more racism in America now?
I have no idea. I have no idea how people can actually fix their face to say that there is no racism in America. First off, there's a Webster definition of racism, which is very basic, and then there's a academic understanding of racism, right? And one thing that I have pulled from my research and my understanding of racism is racism doesn't come without power behind it, right? So if someone is sitting there calling me the N word, right, and they are of the majority race, and then their race has the ability to make my life harder,
To
to
back
make
up.
my ancestors harder, to get on equal ground, that's racism to me. I know that I can walk out of this house at any moment and be called the N-word. I know that because I walk anywhere where someone feels I shouldn't be, and they're going to either A, think I'm up to stealing something, B, think I'm up to causing trouble. I also know that I have friends around this country, and I hear their stories. And I'm not talking about just hearing their stories when they were kids. I'm talking about hearing stuff that has happened to even them in the military. You know what I'm saying? And yes, I've been called the N-word in the military. I have. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? And yes, I know for a fact that people made the assumption that I didn't know how to speak, that I didn't know how to carry myself, that I didn't know how to be a leader or a senior leader. I know that. I didn't let that stop me because my father raised me not to do that. And guess what he did? His father did the same thing for him. And that just because we have moments where a person of color is the president, that doesn't mean it's over. That means that the politicians, the administration before him was bad enough that white people agreed and said, this change is what we need and this is what we have. Because it's not like the second time Obama ran that he blew him out the water. And the fact that the administration that Obama had, and Michelle, and the two of them, the way they represented this country, that's the stuff history's made out
Well, the
of.
way that
You
they
know what I'm
still
saying?
represent the
That's my
country.
point,
That's what I'm
though.
saying.
But
It's not.
and like even George Bush, even Clinton, disgraced the office, right? But you could still see that he was kind. You could still see he had, even if he's not kind, you can still see that they portrayed themselves as human, as kind, and as having passion and compassion for the country. You can see that. When you see this guy and the people that he hires, you can tell they don't like people.
Well, it just feels like they're trying to tear the country down. They're
It's
trying to dumb us down
absolutely
to cause chaos
for
so that a small group can be in total control of everything.
righteous reasons, they say, but you can tell they're not righteous. You can tell he's not a Christian. You can tell
Well,
that.
that was obvious
But
years ago.
they
But then
he sent out a tweet about him being Jesus, and his excuse saying that he thought it was a doctor, and the whole right side, the Republicans, accepted that and then picked that up as a talking point.
and that's what I don't. I don't. That's what I don't get. I mean, that's what I don't. I don't understand. And people accept Americans accepting because it's like our folks can't be
Right,
that ignorant.
right.
And and they can't be that. I mean, a lot of it just it looks like a lot of two-faced stuff.
It
Whereas like they
is
can go and they can talk about uh uh
anything.
anything. I mean anything and not follow any, and they talk about all the Christian values and
Yeah,
all of this stuff. And it's like that's not a Christian value. Or how do you justify
but this is
putting
your
this person up
leader.
on a pedestal
Yeah,
and
but this is your leader.
saying that that's okay?
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
I don't. That's what I mean. That's extremely hard to try
yeah,
to understand.
and that's the biggest thing. I mean, even the chief justice, he's basically saying that our country has changed, right? And it's getting to the place where the we have equal ground around that. And that's, like I said, just because, like, my success came from the military. right?
Mm-hmm.
My
Yeah, I
success.
mean
And
that's
so people can look at me and say, you know what? You, Lance, were successful in your life. But let me ask you a question. How many people that will call you successful would actually join the military? How many people, when you just joined,
mm-hmm.
thought that you did the right thing? How many other people your age of other races had joining the military as their number one thing to do? Who dreams about joining the military? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There may be a few, I can't say because I don't know those facts, but I'll tell you this. When we joined the military, that wasn't with applause across the board.
Mm-mm.
Some people thought we was throwing our
People got
lives
upset. Yeah,
away.
it's like, why are you doing that? Why are
Yeah.
you representing
They,
them? Why are you
yeah.
going?
They don't love you. Why are you going
But it's
and
not.
working for them?
Yeah. But it's not about them as much as it is about trying to show other people in our folk that we can go in and do. I mean, that's I don't know. That's where I felt. It's like I was going in trying to show that I could lead. I could do this job and be a black male.
100%. And it turned into that for me. It 100% turned into that. The reality of it is I joined because I was in a space where I didn't know what the heck I wanted to do. And then when I joined, that when my first tour was over, I was like, oh, had a little fun. You know, it's
Right.
cool. I'll do it one more time. You know what I'm saying? And then I enlisted again. And then it just happened. And then they messed me up with that indefinite stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't have
Yeah.
to re-enlist no more.
Well,
But
and then I think you start seeing. I mean, because you have your military culture, then you have your civilian American culture that
yeah,
you see, and it's like I gotta stay in here and start keep doing this
yeah.
and showing these
But
jokers.
that's what you grow into. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
No, you. I
Yeah.
mean, unless you have a fam. This is the. I tell you this. This is the folks that I see that want to go and join the military. Just people that had grandparents and
Oh no, legacy
history of
people. Yeah,
that
legacy
was like,
people.
oh, we were
Legacy
Navy
people.
or
Yeah, you can't include legacy people in this conversation.
but just
Yeah,
regular people
yeah.
saying no,
They
not
ain't
at all.
trying. Nah, they ain't trying to.
It was something. It was a financial reason. It was
Absolutely.
a judicial
Yeah. Yeah, the court told
reason.
you to go.
Yeah, it told
Yeah.
gave you had this. You could
Yeah.
go to jail or you go
Yeah.
join the military. It was one of those. People got drafted.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Yeah.
ever like somebody just going, yes,
It's
take me
not
now.
it's not the aristocrats. The richer people do not have military anywhere on their what do you call them,
Resume.
dream boards,
Oh,
right?
it is.
But the reality of it is, unless you're a legacy person, even the poor people don't have the military in their mind. The military becomes an option when you're either not sure what you want to do or it's a means to an end.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. But going back to the Supreme Court justices, like you got people like Clarence Thomas.
Mm.
Just read his book, his biography, and you learn that because he was able to use the systems that were in place for black people to have a chance, he made it all the way to the Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's at the Supreme Court saying that using that help is a badge that says that we're inferior. How could you possibly make the trail, take that path, right? And walk that path from where he came from. And I'm not going to give his book away, but go read his book and talk about where he was born and where he came from and what he did to get where he is. And how can you say that he could possibly, how could he turn around and say that people that would take advantage of what's out there walk around like they have a badge of courage, showing them as inferior people?
Have you ever felt like an inferior person?
I never felt like I was given anything.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like I never. I mean, I felt. I mean, anything that was, I don't even say given to me. It was like I felt like that was my right too, to be able to have the opportunity to do
to make a
yeah
mark.
to do
Yeah.
some of those things. I have
Yeah.
had opportunity to get that job or had
Right.
opportunity to get that education
Right.
or whatever. I mean, it was like it wasn't. I mean, and that's just that was my right as an American,
Right.
because everybody else was able to do it,
Yeah.
you know, or was given that. Yep, you
Right.
can go do that. You know, it was just normal.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be normal for them.
Yeah.
I
Like,
never felt like. I mean, I never felt like that was a badge of honor or a badge. I mean, that's just.
I just don't.
But it's not color. I mean, but I'm not. I mean, I grew up in a time where we grew up right there in the beginning,
70s.
middle,
Yeah, in
yeah,
the
where it was
70s.
just like where all of the
To where
stuff had just started.
Black
Yeah,
Power
where it just
was
started
still,
happening.
yeah, Black Power was carrying over, and then Black influence started to come forward. I'm talking about dancing, music, acting, all that
All of
stuff.
that,
Yeah, it
yeah,
started to come forward.
because we were able to get into all of that.
But I'm gonna just right. I honestly don't believe that people as a whole understand how hard it is for a Black man to make their way in this world. I don't think. No, I'm
Well,
just
no,
saying.
because you
I
because you're
don't.
pre. I know I
Yeah,
hear you,
I
because
don't
it's that
think.
you just feel pre. I mean, because this I'll tell you this. Now, I'm sorry for cutting you off, but I feel like I'm always on the defensive. It was all,
Absolutely,
especially during when I was coming up. It's always on the
absolutely,
defensive because I felt like, okay, I know this, but I know I gotta prove this to these folks again.
absolutely.
I mean,
In
it's just
school,
like it was a over and over. It's like I gotta
absolutely.
prove this again.
In school, I
Yeah.
gotta prove this again in sports. I gotta prove this again in life. I gotta prove this again in how we live. I gotta prove this. Like, for instance, I know that if in the house I live in, if I don't maintain the yard outside,
Oh.
people are not just gonna say that guy over there. There would be so much more. They would be questioning, do I even have the money to be here? Do I even have the education to be here? Do I even have the right to be
Well,
here?
it don't. I mean, it's just cutting the grass. It's not even. It's the little stuff.
Yeah. I don't think that people as a whole, especially if it's not you, I don't think people understand that, like you said, how much of, or you said defense, I'll just say alert you have to be as a Black man. Because if you mismanage the way you carry yourself, then you're automatically confirming a stereotype classification that could stop you from being anything you want to be. You know what I'm saying? Like my neighborhood, and I'm gonna talk strictly about Middletown, Ohio. The one thing I know and I remember is I felt more welcome and comfortable in the neighborhood than I did in the school. I felt like in the neighborhood, I was just able to live my life. I felt that when I went to the school or when I went to the church that was white, I had to act a different way. I know that. You know what I'm saying? I had to adjust myself, even as a kid, because my parents made me adjust myself so that I wouldn't get in trouble in school. Am I right? So anytime the white teachers or the white administration would say something that I was doing right or wrong, my parents, of course, would stand up for me. But then they would also come to me and say, hey, you got to be careful when you're doing this. So I'm walking on nails every day outside of my neighborhood.
That's funny. Yeah.
But in my neighborhood, I'm just out there having fun. I'm out there free, roaming, playing with the other kids. If there's a controversy, it's not because I'm Black. It's a controversy because they don't like me. It's the same as life. You know what I'm saying? But when you leave the neighborhood, it's not the same.
No.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what's so frustrating. Like if you grow up in a Black neighborhood and a white neighborhood, and just say it's a decently affluent neighborhood of Black people, a decently neighborhood of affluent white people, the inside of that neighborhood for the black people over here and the white people over here, there's not that much different because it's America.
It's not any
It's
different.
because
Yeah.
it's America. But mess around and put this black person over here, this black person cannot be the way they are. You can't be. You have to adjust and adapt. Because if you are who you are in this neighborhood, the threat and the possibility of harm, or the threat and the possibility of being made fun of, or the threat and the possibility of being called that N-word is real.
I feel like in those situations we go into those when we're the minority in like a neighborhood or whatever, we go in trying to make people feel safe.
Yeah, we go try to fit in
instead of
fitting out.
instead of just being
Being
who we
are.
are. I mean, I don't think I do that now as like I did when
I
I
mean,
was younger.
you do it. The limits of it change.
Yeah. I mean,
Because
big time. Because it's not anything like whenever I was younger and trying to, being new in our
Yeah.
neighborhood. Like now it's like, okay, it's respectful, but it's not where it's like I'm gonna say something and it's just how it's gonna be.
It's respect earned
Right.
instead of respect given.
Right.
Yeah, but it used to be respect given. All right. Are we more frustrated by the actual policies and politics? I'll throw that in there. Or by how many people seem comfortable acting like none of this affects black people differently?
God, dog. And that's probably the how people act like it's not that, like it affects black people differently. I mean that's the thing. I mean, because the policies, the policies I mean, you can read some. I mean, they're crap.
Well, they can be overturned.
Yeah. I mean that's the thing. But people acting like
Yeah.
that's not. It's like it's not a targeted
Yeah.
attack on
That's amazing.
you or
Yeah.
your race or whatever. Is that's where it's like that's where you want people, and it's not everybody, because you do have folks that are like, that's not right. That's not how that's supposed to be.
See it for what it is.
But it's like it can be some of the people who you interact with or thought were like,
Yeah.
I thought that we were, we had an understanding, or we were
thought
cool,
yeah.
I mean, where you thought that they were,
Yeah.
I don't say truly your friend, but they truly understood.
Truly your friend.
Yeah, I mean,
because
where it
when
was
you're
like,
truly somebody's friend, you care for them.
yeah, I mean, you talk about what's not right, and it's like when it's, and that's the thing with a lot of this is like, it's not even trying to cover it up. It's blatant.
It seems like it's blatant.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's
seems
just
like
out
it's
there.
yeah. It seems like a targeted effort.
Yes.
And like I said, if you're presenting, like, we're solution-based people, right? Because that's the way we were raised in the military and in life by our parents. And so if you have a problem with something, you don't just change it without really understanding the problem
Right.
and understanding the consequences of
Because
that.
you can't change it unless you understand
That's
it
the
to be able to get the proper solution for it.
Yeah. So I'm more frustrated about both of them. I'm frustrated about the policies because I'm scared that when I die, my sons and my children and my grandchildren and so on will have to fight a fight that I thought we were
Already fought.
well, not just already fought, but I thought we were continually making progress on. This is the first time to where I'm like, they're trying to erase everything. You know what I'm saying? So that's the policy thing. The thing about the people who don't realize it, how it really affects black people, it's just that they just don't want to listen, man. I take that back. It's more than just they don't want to listen. It's because they are convinced that by helping minorities, you're erasing the current majority. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't understand. Like, and I'm gonna be bold and not bold, but blunt. I don't understand how white people feel like when you help women and when you white males, when you help women, when you help black women, when you help other minorities, when you help them to be a better citizen, right? I'm talking when you level that playing field to where they can get the jobs and dream of success and then actually make it a reality, not just onesies or twosies, not having to, hey, the way you're going to be successful is join the army, because that's not the same path that white people have to take. It's a path we took and we succeeded in that, right? And so what I don't understand is when the majority that we'll call white people right now believe in this nonsense that this administration is talking right now. I'm talking just remember the conversations. Now, I'm not talking about the actions right now. Just remember the conversation, because all of those documents that the president has signed off, those executive orders, listen to what those are. Now, that's why I said conversation, because and what's going on at the Department of Defense, right? You know, the Department of Defense is still the Department of Defense. It still is. But they call it the Department of the War. But Congress has to change that. So it's not a real thing, but it's a conversation they're having. And so it's not just that. We're talking about the renaming of these military installations, right? Taking the people of color off and then going and finding other white people who share the name of the previous names of these bases so that they can turn them back. I'm talking about these are the conversations. And you can sit there all you want and say how much you love Bragg for what Bragg is. The base, that's one thing. The name of the base and who it's heralding, who it's
Who was named after?
who it's named after, but also is getting that popularity, was not a good person for America. You know what I'm saying? The same thing at now back to Fort Lee. There, we had made progress to the point to where we could say, I'm not saying that all history should be erased. I'm not saying that. But I am saying that all history should be looked at and understood for what it is. If you're going to name something Fort Lee and then know who Robert E. Lee is, how is that representative of America?
Well, it all has to be included. That's the thing. I mean, you can have you can't pick and choose what you want to talk about in history without saying,
Yeah,
this was this, but this was also part of.
You cannot
whitewash it. There
You
you go.
should not whitewash history because you're erasing the history.
To make it sound good, to make it benefit, one side.
When
or whatever,
Obama
so.
left, Harriet Tubman was about to get on the $20 bill. Somebody please explain to me how Harriet Tubman should not be represented for the effort she did, not just for slaves, but what she did during the war. You mean to tell me you don't think she earned the right to have a legacy that's more than a simple little blurb in a freaking encyclopedia or a movie that's made? You don't think that she was very important to the success of America, what she did during the war? I just don't get it, man.
That, and then you have our current president about to be on passports because of the 200 and to help represent the 250 years. It's like, how is that a representation
Of America.
of America?
He doesn't
with
represent
all of the
America.
discord that's going on.
And people will sit there and
under that
say,
leadership.
because he was elected. I'm going to ask a question, and I just asked one, but I'm going to ask this one too, straight to the camera. You really believe that President Trump cares about anything other than him. If you believe that, then I ask you to explain to me, why does he have to put his name on everything? Why does everything that he's talking about, legacy building, comes with his name on it instead of just his actions during his service to our country? Explain that to me. Explain to me how he has to have his name on buildings. Explain to me how he has to have his picture draped on buildings. Explain to me why he needs to build a ballroom that has his name on it for the White House, when the White House has not been missing that. And he told us it was going to be paid for by donations. And now it's
By
looking
private
like,
donors.
yeah, from now it's looking like we're going to have to pay for it. Why does he have to have a so-called conversation of a class of ships in the Navy named after him? It's legacy building. It's trying to leave his stamp on the world. It's not about him caring about this country.
It's
I just
not
don't
about
get it.
deeds, that's for sure.
I don't get it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What responsibility do we have as Black men to stay informed, speak honestly, but not let politics consume who we are?
As Black men, we have very clear responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
The first is stop listening to the noise and do your research.
Yep.
Stop letting your decisions to be made based off of what you see on TV, what you see on social media.
Hey, I mean,
And
just
this,
don't take one point of view.
absolutely.
I mean,
And this
don't
ain't
take one
just
point of view.
and it ain't just a Black problem. It's a world problem right
Nah, it's
now.
everybody.
But we're specifically talking about Black men. So stop listening to the noise. Stop listening to people talk about you're failing one party and or failing another party. Stop that. You have the same right to research, make a decision, and vote. Whatever you choose to do,
Yep.
just don't make the decision based off of propaganda.
But it's educate yourself.
That's my
I mean,
point.
it's just. I mean,
That's my
it
point.
is really and truly educate
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and that's an easy thing to do these days.
Yeah. And then finally, just stand on who you are.
Yeah, don't be afraid to talk about it.
Yeah, just stand on who you are. A lot of people avoid politics because you may not be ready for the second or third or fourth question. That don't mean you can't speak about it. That don't mean you can't learn about it. And that don't mean you have to research and then go on Facebook, Instagram, or whatever and talk about it.
Well, I mean,
It just means that you need to make sure that you are educated enough so that when you're making your choice to vote, your focus is about you and your family. But there also is a responsibility, but it's up to you to put it on your shoulders to care about your race.
well, you can't be afraid to talk about it
True.
because
I'm talking about going out of your way to talk about it. That's all I was saying.
Because it's a lot of that is yes,
Yeah.
and that too, and with that is like you talk about it because whatever these policies and things that are going on, that's the way that you can spit it back out is the way that you're hearing it and understanding it. You know, and if it's something different where it's like, no, that's not what it's meant to, so that it makes sense.
Absolutely.
So you have to say something because if
That's
you just
the word, makes sense to you.
if you just go by what's being put out and then you thinking, okay, that's what it means, and it's like that has nothing to, or the implications of this coming out are going to be boom, 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 boom. Are going to be the cause and effect. And this what can happen from. I mean, so talk about it with your friends, with your boy, so that you can actually be able to understand it and actually talk about it more, so that you can talk about it more on a wider level, with folks. But I think you have to be able to can't be afraid to talk about these things.
Well, and that goes back to you're not going to be afraid to talk about stuff when you know the stuff. And that's what I'm
Right.
saying. If you're putting in the research and you're putting in the time to understand something, then that's absolutely what you should be talking about. You know, I was just referring to, you know, you don't have to be that guy that's always has something to say on your social media. I'm not talking about that's the level that black men should be.
No.
I'm not talking about you should, I don't think that you, as a black man, should feel like the weight of the world is on you. But the fact is, it is
Well, you
sometimes.
just be informed. I
Yeah.
mean, just be informed because it's I don't stay up on politics like I mean I talk about it with my wife. I talk about it with you. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I read on
That's the
things, you know,
thing
from
now.
time to time.
Yeah.
Say it, but I'm not like going and back to
Yeah.
my whatever
Yeah. You're
and
doing the blog.
posting. Yeah, I'm not doing that. You
Yeah.
know, because it's like it's because some of it's ridiculous. You know, because it's just I want to have faith again with the I mean, I want to have faith again with the politicians, just because I want them to go back to actually listening and taking care
Yeah.
of our folks, which I don't feel like they're doing.
And
I
I
just feel
don't,
like
yeah,
it's a bunch of millionaires looking out like, okay,
be more,
how can I get
be
more
more
money?
millions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or I'm not going to say anything about this because I'm a benefit off of this
Yeah.
craziness too. You
Keep it
know, where it's
quiet.
like,
Yeah. I don't
mm,
know. It's just black men got beat down in this last election. And I don't like that. I don't like the fact that America all of a sudden is saying that black men either let you down or lifted you up
it wasn't us.
because we don't get credit for anything else, you know, but we're taking that.
Nothing positive.
Yeah. And so, and I'll just say this, if you're black and you voted for Trump, did you honestly do your homework on him? Meaning, did you see how he was when it was time for him to serve in Vietnam? He wasn't the only rich person that did that took those paths, but he did education, 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 then all of a sudden bone spurs, and then finally wasn't eligible no more. That used to be a problem. If your country called on you to serve, you were supposed to serve. I mean, even Bush went to the National Guard. You know what I'm saying? At least, and then his father, the first Bush, was a freaking pilot in World War II.
Yeah.
So it's not like that, man. It's just amazing to me. First, that's another thing. And then, did you see how his business was ran over the decades? Yes, he was out there rich, but his father made all that money.
Father gave him
Yeah, and he got
4
all that
million,
money,
400
400
million.
million.
Yeah.
That got that money. So he started out with a silver spoon in his mouth.
Politics is not distant when it touches your family, your history, your vote, your job, your health, and how people see your value. We may not all see this moment the same way, but we can't afford to be uninformed or silent. As black men, we've got to pay attention, speak truthfully, and still find a way to lead our families without letting anger be the only thing we pass down.
Thank you for joining this conversation.
Yep, y'all. So until next time, let's keep the conversation going.